5. What a way to make a living. Crypto is on the rise, making that dough in the crypto paradigm. Watching it go, buying low, selling high. Riding the wave, I'm here to stay. Living in the digital age. No thanks, no fees, just decentralized. It's crypto paradise. Ooh. No thanks, no fees.
Alrighty, good morning from paradise. My name is Crypto Amaru. The whole Surf Boy crew is back. Congratulations to our boy Nate. Just got married. I think was on his honeymoon. Hopefully you have some stories to share from that. But glad to be back. Happy Monday, everyone. So today's going to be a bit of a special show as well because we should be having a Pulsechain influencer, Fat Sammy, joining us any minute here. So that should be fun. Of course, we'll cover the charts, Bitcoin, Ethereum, a little bit of correction. This week, nothing out of the ordinary. We just ran to all-time highs last week, so you'd expect a bit of a correction. So we'll cover that as well. Some Pulsechain stories, some surf stories. So with that, first of all, Nate, how was the wedding? How was the honeymoon? Congratulations to you, bud.
Yeah, it was great. Got my parents out here. Long trip, but got them out here. They spent 10 days with us out here. Did the wedding and then went traveling, took her mom with us and traveled all around, did all the fun stuff, went deep sea fishing and parasailing, visited a bunch of tourist attractions, mountains and caves and beaches, and some botanical gardens, did it all, ate a ton of great food, had a lot of good drinks, really enjoyed ourselves. So appreciate you guys holding things down while I was out and about. I know it wasn't necessarily the most ideal timing with the markets to be taking 10 days off, but had to get it done sooner than later. It was a blast, but excited to be back. As you can imagine, to being gone for 10 days, you know, as these in the middle of the bull market here, got a ton of backlog messages from clients and Crypto Paradise fam and community and all kinds of stuff to get caught up on, but put in a good long day today and got a good long week ahead to get caught up on everything. Got some great content earmarked that I want to make some videos. And of course, we'll have these live streams going all week here as well. So back in action, back in full swing, and ready to rock and roll, refreshed and revitalized. Ready to see these markets rip.
Well, the audience is happy you're back. The audience congratulate you on your wedding and your marriage. Let's see. When the kids come, we'll have some more cheers or maybe tears. When the kids come, we'll see. All right, so let's switch gears and check out the markets for a minute, if you don't mind, there, Nick. Are the charts playing out as you had expected and hoped, or are we breaking down more dramatically than that?
I mean, this is what we were talking about in the live show, I guess, on Friday, is when we saw this top here, this met our 4,800 target, and we said major support around this 4,350 level. That's right where we're at. Imagine that. And then, of course, you could have a bullish retest of this 3,900 level, which would be a retest of this breakout from this bullish ascending triangle. So, I mean, nothing crazy has happened. I know it feels doom and gloom because all the red in the markets after we saw slight green over the weekend. You can see we rallied from 43.68 up to 4,600. Everything looked hunky-dory. You had Trump meeting with Putin that apparently went pretty well. And then we wake up today to 2% down across the board. And it is a little interesting because the NASDAQ was just green. It's barely red, 0.01% red. But Ethereum and Bitcoin showing some weakness. Like you said, they did just hit all-time highs, so it's not that wild, but normally, you see the break of the all-time high and you see some kind of follow-through, and we're just not really seeing that. Every time we get there, we get rejected, we get a fresh wave of sellers, and here we are today. Let's see if these Ethereum Strategic Reserve companies will buy this dip, but this is nothing crazy, and for the Elliott wave people, this could be the low because you would have 5 waves down on the correction. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, correction over, and now you work on an ABC up, which would put you above new all-time highs So we'll see if that plays out with the help of Thomas Lee buying more Ethereum. And talking about Bitcoin, I mean, I don't know. This is a full retest of all the gains here. It's still only like an 8% drop or whatever it is. And you could argue, hey, this is a bullish retest of this bull flag that broke out to the upside. But I think the biggest news on this is Michael Saylor hinted that he was going to buy more Bitcoin on Friday. They bought another 51 million worth of Bitcoin, except oopsie, they bought it at $119,000 and like $500. So I don't even know where they were, like the top mark on both of these rallies here, buying up that Bitcoin, and they're seeing some red today. So we'll see how that plays out today, how strategy the stock plays out, and what do you think about the timing from Michael Saylor? Always seems to every time they buy it marks a short-term top. It's kind of ironic.
He's not good at timing those buys, is he? But I think we talked about this in the past. You've made a good point around it. The ability to raise capital, Michael Saylor's ability, that is somewhat contingent on the market looking good, right? Market looks good. Investors want to invest in the next, perpetual stock offering or whatever Saylor's cooking up these days, and then he's able to turn around and buy the Bitcoin in short order. Sometimes he ends up buying a top, but it ends up just being a temporary local top, and then you wait a few months and it's higher. So I don't think he really cares if he timed it exact. Oh, did I buy it at 119 or 116? I don't think it really makes a difference to him. As long as he keeps buying, as long as people keep investing in his new financial wizardry offering, this market is going to continue to be bullish. So I'm not too worried about it. Good for Michael. And let's keep this ball rolling. So, all right. We actually have a friendly new face on the live stream with us. Welcome to the show, Fat Sammy. How you doing today? And can you hear us okay?
Yeah, sorry about that. Dipped in earlier and my speakers were disconnected. So, yeah, I'm doing well, thank you. Thanks for the invite.
Absolutely, bud. Great to have you on. So, why don't we do this? You're actually the first guest that's come on the live stream. So let's just, we're working on the
wow,
fly
it's an
here.
honor.
Yeah, man, it's great to have you. Why don't you introduce yourself? And we do have a lot of Pulsechain topics. I know you're a Pulsechain guy, but introduce yourself, your background on crypto, and we can take it from there.
Sure. I got into crypto, I always forget the year, but I would say just after the $17,000 top. I remember seeing it all over the news when Bitcoin was, doing that famous climb up to the 17K top. Even though I didn't really understand crypto at the time, I kind of realized, okay, this is probably FOMO if I start to buy it. So I kind of waited for the crash. I think back down to around 15,000 the following year, and that's kind of when I got involved. Made a lot of mistakes, like everyone else did. Paid my crypto university fees by trading before I was probably competent. But yeah, then kind of really got into Ethereum. I started to see the potential in Ethereum. And then I kind of discovered Richard Hart, and that was through, he was on some kind of pro-freedom podcast during the lockdowns and all that. So I thought, oh, this guy's talking about freedom of speech, freedom of association, stuff like that. So he had kind of similar moral standpoints to what I did. Obviously, I hadn't really been in DeFi by that point. I remember hearing about Hex when it was going through the roof, right? And never really understanding how to buy it. So yeah, figured that out. Kind of got on board promoting Hex really, and then I think Pulse Bitcoin came along before the Pulsechain launch, and that was supposed to be a DeFi Bitcoin, decentralized store of value. So yeah, kind of that had a little bit of I would say a slow rug from the people that were kind of running that. So I kind of led the charge in doing a community takeover of that project because there's so many of us that just loved it. So once we knew they were out, we kind of got the team back together, and yeah, it's kind of that's what I've been up to really. Obviously helping out with the Vox marketing and the Emit farm marketing as well at the moment.
And I guess since we have you on here, what's your perspective of Pulsechain? Where do you think we are in the market cycle there? And then did you see that over the weekend there was about $5 million of inflows coming across the bridge via Tornado Cash? So whoever was bringing in millions and millions of dollars all day, they were bringing in like 100,000, then 200,000, then 200,000. They're doing it via Tornado Cash. For those of you who don't know, Tornado Cash essentially is a privacy feature, obfuscates your wallet address so people can't see where the funds originate from when they're coming on chain. Obviously, that's going to create speculation. Who is it? Is it Richard Hart? Is it going to pump the cores? And right now we do see some green in the past 24 hours for the Pulsechain cores, even with the general market pull down and Ethereum selling off as well. So did you find out about that? What's your perspective, and where do you think we're in the cycle for Pulsechain?
Yeah, so I think obviously where we're on the cycle for Pulsechain is going to be we're in uncharted territory. But I saw that money come in last night. Yeah, we were actually just about to go on a live stream before that happened. And yeah, I think it ended by the end of the live stream. I think you said it was around $4 million or something. Sorry, $400,000. I can't remember how much it was in the end.
I think it was like 4,600,000 or something
Okay.
like that from one user, and then another 400,000 just from general
Yeah.
users.
But I mean, whether that's Richard Hart or not, it did certainly look like him because the timing. Obviously, we're just kind of breaking out of that resistance for Pulsechain right now, right against DAI. Looks like we're coming up to approach resistance against Wrapped ETH. So for me, the timing would be perfect. I think, obviously those 200,000 units of those digital marketing devices I think arrived today if they haven't been delayed in the US. So obviously maybe they'll start going out in the next week or so. So I think you do need to have green candles before you start sending those out. If we are still in the 4-year cycle, we're kind of running out of time, right? We need to start moving this thing. So I think, yeah, most certainly. I think just literally, we saw a pump there. I don't even think those funds got deployed. I think they were just bridged over, and that kind of created a bit of buy pressure, right?
Yeah, so far I have not seen that those funds have been deployed in anything. Correct us if we're wrong in the chat, guys. I see Martin's in here, Crypto. I'm sure Hex is watching. So if you've seen those funds be deployed, let us know in the chat. Yeah, this was kind of just a green candle off of speculation of those funds coming in. And we'll see how rapidly or if those funds get deployed. Hopefully they get deployed, and they get deployed almost in a reckless manner and create some nice green candles to spur some FOMO. It's not my money, so pay the slippage.
Let's go. Yeah. Do it for the Chads and the OGs like Fat Sam, who've been in Pulsechain for multiple years. And I guess you probably haven't seen really a bull run in Pulsechain. No one has, arguably. Little moments here and there, but it hasn't had the parabolic move like you've seen with some of these other layer ones that have been around a while. So what are some, you mentioned Vox, you mentioned Emit. What are some of the projects that you like on Pulsechain? What are you bullish on? What makes you bullish?
To be honest with you, I'm kind of, obviously I like Pulse Bitcoin as a store of value and the fact you can mine it. Obviously I like earning yield on my cores, so my favorite token's Hex. So most of my portfolio is Hex. I kind of saw the Pulsechain as a fresh start to kind of get a decent size in Hex because I was kind of a bit late to the party on the ETH chain. Yeah, I'd say second largest holding is going to be PulseX. I pretty much just use my Pulse to spend on things. It's hard not to spend it on things. Yeah, so I'm trying to think really. I'm not in too many things. I'm also in Tetra.win. I was an early funder of that one, but I think they've had some delays. That's going to be like an automation kind of software device. So you can kind of automate things. Sell Hex at this price when the ratio is this against PLSX, for example, or you can get it to auto compound certain features. But I'm a big fan of that one. Obviously, I think Emit's really great because the reward tokens actually on a gradual uptrend, which you just don't usually see, right? I'm not sure how it is against, but yeah, again, as you can see there, it's on a gradual uptrend. Most times you see these farming reward tokens, they tend to just kind of go down forever. So I'm quite happy with how that's being managed. I don't think that.
I really like how that they're offering single-sided staking where they pay out and die. That's super smart because we've been involved with a lot of dexes or staking, farming type platforms before. And you're right, they almost always launch, they get one big spike, and then from there it's just straight to zero unless they become the leading dex or on the platform, a pancake swap or a Uniswap. Other than that, they just pretty typically trend to zero. So big fan of what Emit's doing.
Yeah. I think they just got Peacock as a partner as well now.
Yeah, I love it. By the way, I love to hear that you are deep in the DeFi realm within Pulsechain. I think that's one of Pulsechain's strengths, right? And obviously, some good memes have dropped there recently as well. I know we've been involved with Xavier University. I don't know, maybe Nick can speak on that one more. Peacock just came out, so that's cool to see. But I think DeFi is really where Pulsechain shines. Have you delved into the meme space at all, whether on Pulsechain, Solana, Ethereum, anywhere else, or are you mostly just doing the DeFi stuff on Pulsechain?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of memes, personally. Um, it's just not really my style. I don't like the volatility. I kind of come from a swing trading background, is my kind of format. So I try to find good projects that are kind of have decent upside before, but are kind of flatlined and a very safe entry. I find the memes, you really got to kind of be on top of the momentum, and you've got to kind of do your more research of who's launched them, how many tokens they have, are the people credible. So that's just kind of a different type of research that I wouldn't say I'm kind of very skilled at. So that's why I tend to stay away from memes. I have obviously I do own quite a decent Pepe position at the moment. So I kind of like the way that chart is looking. I also I did ride up the teddy bear meme when that first started, but apart from that, no, not really. Our Pulse Dogecoin, we had a great run with that when Pulsechain first launched. We actually, even before Pulsechain launched, we had it on ETH. That was supposed to be the better Dogecoin, and we did a nice 9x during the bear market, which was pretty cool. We started off at $1, went up to $9, did that about 3 times when Bitcoin was crashing. So that was fun, yeah. But that's pretty much my meme experience.
Yeah, I mean, memes is one of those things. Yeah, you can get lucky or whatever you want to call it, have a couple runners here and there, but for the most part, you're right. I mean, you have to do a lot of research on the founders, the team. Is they credible? Are they credible? I should say. And even if you find that to be true, it's you run these situations where one guy, whether it's an early buyer, whether it's a team, doesn't matter, says a lot of tokens and just gonna like full clip their bag, and then you go to bed. It's at one market cap. You wake up, it's at 70% down. So I mean, if you're preferring, sort of stability and, sleeping at night and, just kind of earning some passive income, knowing that token isn't going to crash and die in any second. Obviously, I think stay away from most memes. But yeah, I think maybe you'd like surf. I don't know. Maybe someone here, Nick, Nate, maybe you guys want to give a little surf shill because we got some meme elements, but it's obviously a lot more than that, which may resonate with you. I don't know. Have you heard
Yeah,
of
I'd love to hear it. I mean, I've been on the website, I had a quick look, but I'd like to learn more because obviously I like surfing. I like the kind. That's why I wore my Hawaiian shirt today because I kind of tried to get in the vibe. But I'd love to hear more.
Yes.
Yeah,
Someone go ahead and show some surf.
yeah, we try to incorporate the best of both worlds. We definitely want the memeability of it, kind of the fun vibes that come with a meme. But at the core of it, it is a utility token. We've got the Crypto Paradise DAO. Our background, we came from Ventures background, had a syndicate DAO with our previous organization that we were with. A lot of those same community members carried over to Surf. And so our goal is to be able to kind of help people learn and build and grow within with using crypto as a means to, kind of as our motto says, get out of the 9 to 5 and escape to your own crypto paradise, whether that's sitting on a beach or working from home, spending time with the family, whatever that is. We all, I think here on this call probably believe crypto is the best opportunity in our lifetime to be able to do that, to achieve financial independence and beyond. And so, at the core of our community, it's all about, helping educate people and helping provide opportunities. We know that we're blessed to be able to be working in this full time, 24/7, but that the vast majority of people don't have that luxury. And so they look to people and communities like the Surf community to help to provide them with alpha, to help provide them with insights on the market, to bring them different opportunities, whether that's calls, whether that's, investment opportunities like the Frontier Fund. Pre-sales were a big part of what we used to do. Pre-sales have been pretty dead for the last couple of years. If those come back, we'll be happy to, bring some of those opportunities back. But we've been, full on with the Pulsechain ecosystem since we launched the token and have really been welcomed and ingratiated into that ecosystem. And so a lot of the opportunities, a lot of the partnerships that we've made, a lot of the projects we've helped promote are part of the Pulsechain ecosystem. And we've loved seeing that grow, all the new projects that are growing there, and really it seems like that's gaining momentum. The number of new projects launching, the number of new introductions that we've had to whether it's meme projects, utility projects, DeFi opportunities on Pulsechain have seemed to have been growing and growing over the last few weeks here. And things are really starting to heat up over there, which we absolutely love to see. We're also doing some stuff like trying to put together some in-person meetups and retreats. I think that the first one coming up in Tulum, Mexico at the Paradise Pad. Amaru's got a condo down there. We're looking at getting a villa together where people can come and meet up, have an in-person meetup, trade alpha, and just have some fun in the near future here. We're hoping to be able to offer those in many spots around the world in the future there. But yeah, at the end of the day, we have our tax token. We've already burned, what are we coming up on, 3% of the total supply. We've got a DAO wallet that the DAO votes on and we chat in there. How do we want to deploy those funds? I think we've deployed close to, we got to be coming up on what, 40, 50 grand now that we've deployed since the start of the token, just in fees. And most of that's gone to LP for other Pulsechain partners that we have. Some of it's gone to buybacks of the Surf token. And in the future, again, we can use that for whatever the community determines to be the best use of those funds to help boost the community and boost the token itself. But yeah, definitely kind of fit in the intersection between utility and meme and syndicate DAO for Surf.
Sounds
Uh-oh.
like
I thought that was
Sammy's,
I thought that was Crypto Amaru hitting the applause, and they were going too crazy. No, I mean, yeah. So the Surf token is pretty much a meme utility token, but I think just to touch base and round it up, it is a token tax system in which part of the token taxes are auto deployed via smart contract. So 0.5% auto gets added to the Surf XLP. Another 0.5% auto gets added to the Surf PLSLP, which constantly grows the liquidity based on daily volume. Just for holding Surf, you do get reflection rewards. 1% of the fees go to your wallet, so you'll get more Surf each and every day. 1.5% goes to the DAO. So far, the DAO has voted 100% of the time to add LPs, broadening the liquidity web. If you guys understand what Hart's Law is, you want to get attached to these things. You want AMM bots to hit those, and that will generate volume, but also generate upside when the chain is doing well. 0.5% of the buy and burn. That alone has burnt almost 3% of the total supply, and we're about to enhance that because we're going to have a dashboard where people can put their wallet in and see exactly how much Surf they've earned, how much Surf has been burnt, what's going on there. And we're going to use some of this DeFi yield that we're earning with Emit Farms and with Vox and with Increase and Hype and RhinoFi and all these other DeFi yields and go put that towards Surf buybacks and burns very soon. So, we're going to keep doing our thing. We do have the advisory side services. We have 2 projects that want to launch on Pulsechain. And they're going to be buying and burning Surf indefinitely based on their own trading volume. Those should be launching this month. So, we just keep grinding along, and Surf is kind of the meme utility token of crypto paradise. And as we have success, a portion of all of our revenues is going to buying and burning Surfs over time as well. And, of course, I don't know. How do you feel about token taxes? PTGC has done very well on Pulsechain. We kind of did a similar token tax. You let the momentum, let the time in the market generate momentum and morale for the token and create higher floor prices. But some people are opposed to token taxes. They don't like paying the tax, or maybe they were here in 2017 when a lot of token taxes didn't do much with the tax. It was kind of just like the founders pocketing the money. But with Pulsechain, it gives you a great opportunity where all this is embedded in the smart contract, and we don't do any of this. It's automatically happening based on the smart contract itself.
All right, bud.
I mean,
you guys are hearing his mic. I'm gonna
hop out and then hop back in, see if that fixes your mic.
Yeah, I had to mute him because Sammy, I think you're having issues with the mic. Oh, okay. We got a question from the community. By the way, great shills, Nate and Nick on the Surf token. I don't have anything else really to add to that. But
one thing we did forget as far as the Surf community is the mini app. The mini app we've had since, I think we launched it back in December this year, or last year, excuse me. And we've given away thousands and thousands of dollars in the mini app, both in tokens and stables. We're about to have the long-awaited Tortoise airdrop going out very soon. We thank everybody in the community that's been patient waiting for that. Obviously, first off, we had to wait for them to launch. And once they did launch, because it was so long ago when we did the initial airdrop competition, it's a lot to go through to make sure we get this done right. So we want to make sure that the people that did participate in that completed all the tasks, that supported Tortoise, supported the Crypto Paradise community, is getting rewarded for that. We want to make sure it's done right, and we're not just giving it out to random people. So thank you for your patience. We'll have an update on that coming out tomorrow. on kind of what needs to be done for those who are qualified, and for those who may be qualified. There's still a little bit of confusion on some of the entries that have come in. So keep an eye on that. If you're part of the Crypto Paradise Crypto Paradise community, make sure you have your notifications on. We'll be posting about that in the community tomorrow. Long story short, there was a couple hundred people that have the potential to be included in that airdrop. But when we did the survey of who was eligible, over 1,000 people registered, which, again, only about 200, a little over 200 had actually participated via the mini app. So there's a lot of information to go through there. Some of that, I believe, emails got crossed, or maybe you changed your username in the last 6 months. So there are some people that currently are not qualified, but probably should be. So we're gonna make a post about that tomorrow. You'll have a week to get that information updated if you think you are qualified for that airdrop, but are not in the initial list, which we'll release tomorrow. So if you are waiting for the Tordes airdrop, please make sure you are in the active in the group in the next week here. You're gonna have 1 week to get any errors fixed. After that, we're gonna go ahead and distribute that. There are a lot of people that are waiting for that are already signed up and ready to go. We're not gonna make them wait any longer. So again, make sure you got notifications on. That information is gonna go out tomorrow. You have 1 week to follow up if you were a part of that. If you are not on the list, there's like 215 or so potentially eligible people. This is coming directly from the mini app, so there's no mistakes that were made. It recorded your entries of people that signed up. So if you're not one of those people, please do not be messaging us and DMing us saying, hey, I want to get on the airdrop. The opportunity for that has passed. This is, again, going to be only open for that list of people that did use the mini app to qualify. So, we want to make this fair for those that did register. If everybody in the community is pinging us trying to get in, it's going to make it that much more difficult to qualify those that did participate. So please read through the list. If your handle is not on there, please don't just be DMing us trying to get an airdrop that you weren't, you're registered for from the beginning. So if you are a part of that and for whatever reason are not registered and you think you should be, but you're in that initial 215 people list, then go ahead and we'll have information on who you can DM and how to try and get your information submitted correctly there to get that sorted out. But yes, the mini app is also part of the Crypto Paradise ecosystem. We have done some more giveaways. I think we gave away $400 or $500 2 weeks ago as a partnership with Trebly, both in some Surf tokens and some Trebly tokens. We also had some upcoming competitions with some other great projects. So if you're not a part of the mini app, definitely get in there and check that out. Going to be some more stuff happening in there soon. And of course, as the market continues, we work with more projects. As you guys share more stuff and help to grow the community, it just means we have more opportunities to give back to you guys. So thanks for everybody that has participated and worked with the mini app. Shout out Albert, who asked the question here. We'll get back to that in just a second, but also saying love the mini app. So thanks Albert as well for supporting that.
Thank you, Albert.
Looks
Thank
like
you,
Fat
everyone who's
Champ.
involved in the mini app. Get into the Crypto Paradise Telegram. That's where all the information will be shared. So you got to get in the Telegram, get into the community, and you'll find out all the information you need to know. So, Nick, what were you going to say there, bud?
Looks like Fat Sammy's back. Let's see if his microphone's working.
Testing.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go.
Oh, back in action.
Business. Back in business. Welcome back, my friend. Here, I'm going to show this comment on the stream here. Is the Tulum retreat open to everyone or just holders? It's actually open to everyone. There's going to be a cost associated with it, obviously, because it's like a 3 or 5 day retreat where we're renting out a villa, food is taken care of, transportation, activities, parties, drinks, going out at night, whatever. That's all covered within your cost. So that will be something that everyone pays for. Now, if you hold a certain amount of surf tokens, then you begin to get discounts on the retreat. So, there's a guy that holds 2 million surf. He's getting like a 70% discount, and you can actually go on the surf website. You can see the tiers and stuff. As your holdings go up, you get more benefits, whether that's through the retreats, or whether that's through investment opportunities, pre-sale allocations, the list goes on. So it is open to everyone, but it does pay to have a bag of surf to get your discounts going on. So that's a little bit more. We're gonna have a lot more news actually on the retreat coming soon, because Nick and I are flying out this week to Tulum to scope out more spots, to speak with the organizer, to just make some content and hang out obviously as well. So we'll be down there, and more information dropping on the retreat very soon.
That's awesome, guys, that you're doing that.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, it's one thing I firmly believe in is okay, if you make money, that's great, but I think you also need to enjoy life because at the end of the day, money is a means to an end, right? It's otherwise just numbers on a screen that make you feel good when you look at it for a minute. So, get out from behind the screen, enjoy life a little bit. And I also feel like in crypto, we don't do that often. Yes, there are conferences that do happen, but they tend to be very just impersonal and chaotic and thousands of people milling about a convention center. I don't think a lot of people love that vibe, and so want to do something a little more intimate, more connections, longer, multiple days, and in a beautiful location. So that's the retreats for you. Just one piece of the whole crypto paradise puzzle, right? It's the passive income you get from holding the surf token. Yes, it's the educational side you get from these videos and other content we do. Yes, it's the alpha calls and the 10x opportunities that we bring to you in the DAO group, but it's also the retreats and hanging out and getting to know one another. So I think it's like an all-encompassing lifestyle brand almost, where obviously the focal point is crypto. The focal point is bettering yourself through crypto and with the financial markets. But at the end of the day, it's all about hanging out, having a good time. So that is Crypto Paradise. Would love to get you in the Dow one day, Fat Sammy. So we'll try to make that happen. But any other topics you want to cover today, gentlemen?
What you thinking, Fat Sammy? You're back. What's on the mind?
I just want to say that I think you guys are spot on doing those meetups. We've done about 7 now, actually, over the years for Pulse Bitcoin. They were kind of, maybe 20, 30 people max, but always a really good time because when you're in the trenches with people, especially when you're loyal to a token and an ecosystem and you'll become friends, I think it's amazing to kind of have that bond, even though it can be a bit of an effort to jump on a plane sometimes. It's totally worth it. I mean, if you're sitting there in a Telegram room with people or watching them on stream for 3 years or so, it's really nice to make that connection because that's what holds us together is these community bonds. Otherwise, we're just numbers on a screen, as you say.
Yeah, it's one of the unique things with this industry. Even guys that have worked together, we worked together at a previous company, and for 3 years, I think we met up 2 or 3 times. So these opportunities to go and get a face to face, even with sometimes colleagues, it's one of the unique things about this industry is most people are remote. Most people are working in different countries around the world. So yeah, I love opportunities like this. I did a video recently on conferences, and that's one of the reasons I love going to conferences. Aside from the networking opportunities, just good to meet some of these people face to face that you've been working with or partnerships with and have chatted with. You feel like you really get to know them, whether through Telegram on calls and stuff like that. But actually going to put a face to face is a great opportunity, and I've made a lot of great lifelong friends in this industry. Have been able to meet up with different places all around the world. We've been to conferences in North America and Europe, all over Asia. So these really looking forward to these offsites and these in real life, real world meetups.
Yeah, I feel like when you're just communicating on Telegram or Twitter or wherever, it's all business, right? It's all just like, all right, I need this from you, I need that from you, when this, when that. It's all just like the business. There's nothing, you never talk about personal life stuff like in Telegram for the most part. Maybe a little bit here and there. Oh, I'm sick today, bro. I can't make the call. Other than that, it's you don't really know these people. But when you go to this the in-person meetups or the retreats, conferences, whatever the case may be, you get to actually know folks. And like you said, Fats, I mean that's the core of a community is that kind of bond that you get and that loyalty and that kind of we're in the trenches together. And I just feel like being able to step out from behind the screen and meet up in real life, that makes it that much stronger. So I am curious in terms of the meetups you've done, were they more local or how did you figure out the locations and what were the logistics like for those?
Well, fair. I mean, we about 3 years ago when we started, we had every day someone would open up the voice chat in our Telegram room. So there was often 15, 20 people there a day just chatting, and that kind of went on for quite some time. And then we go through a period, where it goes quiet, and then generally we've always had quite a social community. So if someone did one in Florida once, kind of set up some golf, set up some pool party, and then we did one I did a few in London. We had a guy do one in Madrid, and then we Yeah, we did one a few years ago in Palm Springs, which was awesome. I flew out there. We had a big bus and all that. Did barbecues. Someone brought some lobster. It sounds like a surf token type of meetup, that one, actually.
There
Some
you
of the
go.
palm
Yeah,
trees
yeah,
there.
hey, that sounds amazing. So, sounds like community members would almost volunteer to hold the meetup kind of near where they were, so they would almost organize it near their location, and then
Yeah.
folks could fly in and meet up. Is that?
It's usually Wales that are doing it.
Wales, yeah, of course. Yeah.
But yes, nonetheless, I mean, it was great because now some of the people that met at those things, well, a couple of them actually like live together like roommates now. Like they're kind of got a crypto pad and they just work on crypto all day. So yeah, there's some lifelong friendships created from those meetups, which is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing too, right? Like, and as much as we joke around, oh yeah, it's about we're gonna party and hang out, which obviously we will, but it's also about making those connections and maybe a business opportunity arises. Maybe like, oh, you know, you're in the trenches, I'm in the trenches. Let's team up and let's like CTO this coin together. Let's launch a thing together. I think a lot of the cabals, whatever you want to call them, the teams you see out there, they form as a result of being in person and meeting up in real life. So, yeah, definitely more news on the retreat. Sammy, would love to have you down there. I don't know where you're living these days, but this one will be held in Tulum, Mexico, which is kind of near Cancun. It's in the Caribbean side of Mexico. So, yeah, that'll be probably November this year. But then, yeah, we're looking to do one again the following year, maybe somewhere in Europe, right? People talked about Portugal for a while, talked about Spain. We wanted to be somewhere good weather, right? Obviously. So, we'll definitely keep you posted on that. But any other thoughts on your mind? Like, where do you think Pulsechain goes this cycle? You think it ultimately becomes a top 20 like layer one blockchain, or is it kind of destined to be in obscurity for this cycle?
I think it's going to go I think it's going to become a top chain. Yeah, I do. I think it's going to be the DeFi choice of chains. But I think really what I'm kind of keeping my eyes on right now is what's going on with this 4-year cycle. Because once we understand what's going on with this 4-year cycle, right, and when we think that ETH is going to kind of be profitable enough to maybe start, the SAC money is going to start being profitable enough to borrow decent money against its position to then start pumping Pulsechain. I think he's gonna time it, almost in a very tight window and reward a very small amount of people that get frustrated. So I think if for instance Hex, for example, breaks 50 cents on the ETH chain, and, does a 3x from there minimum, and then I think we can say we've had success, and I think we can then keep a lot of money on chain through farming in stable tokens and all that during the bear market. Otherwise, we just kind of run up really high and then everyone just exits the chain, right? So I don't see that happening. I think we've got so much building going on right now and so much DeFi kind of options that people are less likely to go and take their money out of crypto, send it to their bank account, pay 50% tax or whatever it is, and then come back to the market again. I think people are a bit more savvy this time. So I think Pulsechain might be able to retain some of that value on chain. So that's what I'm excited about.
I'd probably agree with that, and just the structure of Pulsechain and the way it's set up is pretty benevolent as well. You see these buying and burnings going on at PLSX. It's like $15,000 to $50,000 per day buying and burning PLSX. We see with pump tires and these meme coin launches that they're locking up PLS and all those liquidity pools when they bond, so more and more PLS is getting taken out of supply. And that's how you became a multi-cycle network. That's how BNB is still here and doing so well, is due to all the on-chain growth and all the development and builders and DeFi opportunities. And of course, they continue to buy and burn that token, so keeps putting in higher and higher floor prices. So I expect to see the same out of Pulsechain. Like you said, it depends on if we're in the proponent that the 4-year cycle could extend. There's some people talking about September is going to be the top. Of course, some people talking about Q4 being the top. We'll see how it goes, but if that's the case, you are running out of time to really get things moving both on the ETH side and the Pulsechain side and altcoins. If we extend, of course, that gives more time for the run-up, gets more people entrenched, gets more retail in here, and then hopefully they retain some of those assets on-chain, which helps create higher floor prices during the next inevitable bear market, no matter what form we kind of see it in.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, this debate over whether the 4-year cycle is going to repeat and replay itself exactly as the previous cycles, or whether there will be some extension on that. I'm really of the mindset that to me it's highly likely that it's going to be identical to the prior ones. I'm seeing these charts. People are like, all right, on average, the bear market starts 1,007 days after the last halving or whatever the numbers are, and they're like, and therefore the top will be October 18th. I'm like, do you really think it's going to be exactly the same? What are the chances exactly the same? Has this cycle been exactly the same as previous ones on every other metric? No, there's been tons of differences. So to me, it's not going to be exactly the same. I do think we eventually will get a bear market. There's no doubt about it. But people have to remember this too. When the analysts talk about bear market, bull market, cycle tops, etc., they're often talking just about Bitcoin. And so oftentimes Bitcoin can hit an all-time high. That doesn't mean the run is over. That actually means that could be the start of like a 1 to 2 month crazy alt run. You know what I mean? That's normally what happens. Bitcoin hits all-time high, euphoria, and then the money starts flowing to alts. So alts have 1 or 2 months to run. So we could easily see a scenario where Bitcoin's all-time high in December, January, and then we're February, March, alt season crazy, and then yes, sure, crash. But I just think people are, maybe overestimating the idea that it's going to be exactly the same. Because to me, that's just not realistic and identical play out. To me, there's going to be some difference.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. I'm kind of thinking a slight extension into Q1. But yeah, I do agree. I don't think it's going to be broken like that.
Yeah, I'm becoming more and more in the camp of that the 4-year cycle is busted. And I agree with you, Sammy. I don't think that means, infinite bull run or that we have no, completely throw the cycles out the window, but I think they're having diminishing effects, diminishing returns, and I think I watched a really great stream recently by two of my favorite Bitcoin tea analysts, Crown Crypto and Fibbo Swami, and they looked at the how the previous cycles have worked, and they were very, very similar in the sense that you had the halving. And then once the new all-time high on Bitcoin happened was always after the halving. And once you got that new all-time high, it was pretty much parabolic. And I don't remember what the time frame was, but it was very, very almost identical time frames in which once that new all-time high was created, you had a parabolic run up, and then they went back into the bear market. Well, this is the first cycle where we had an all-time high before the halving occurred, and then we've seen, instead of a one-off parabolic run up with whether a single or double top and then into a bear market, we've had this slow nice run ups, and then we have a correction, then a nice run up, and then a correction. We've been much more or less parabolic and kind of climbing the stairs, which is looking much more like we will have an extension of this bull run, as you mentioned, probably maybe Q1 26, maybe longer. And the more I see, I do tend to agree with that. Now, does that mean we're not going to have pullbacks along the way? No. One of the big possibilities they talked about was exactly what we're seeing right now. They said very likely a test back down into the low teens for where we're at right now on Bitcoin, and then probably run up to 145 with potential of even a 30% pullback after that, which would put us back down around 100 or even below 100, which of course, if we see that, everyone's gonna say, bull market's over, it's all done. But then, again, they're saying, that's perfectly normal from what we're seeing, and probably then up over, well over 200K before we get the actual bear market. Now, whether how accurate they're going to be, to the T, who knows? But, I think the biggest point that I took away from that was, for the people that are saying, 4-year cycle, it's going to end exactly the same. Well, it's already broken. Like we already broke one of the cardinal, points or the cardinal foundations of a 4-year cycle, which was you get the halving, then you get the all-time high and a parabolic run up. Well, we got the all-time high before we got the halving. So, that's kind of the core principle of the 4-year cycle. So, I think I don't know what the new pattern that will emerge will be, but I certainly don't think the guys that are saying it's an average, 1,007 days are going to be right on this cycle.
Nah, yeah, no way.
Yeah.
No way it's going to play out exactly the same. I think the overall takeaway for all you viewers out there, and I'll pull up this comment in a second, just hold on, guys. Just hold on. I mean, timing, this, that, the other. I'm just holding. I'm just holding my Bitcoin. In 10 years from now, it will be worth $1 million. So have that long-term time horizon. These, when the other happens, starts to matter less. So All good there. Nice conversation. I do want to pull up Vishal's comment. Welcome to the show, by the way, Vishal. Did you guys not advertise you're going live? More presenters than viewers. Well, I don't know where you're viewing from. Probably YouTube.
Yeah,
A
that's what I
lot
was
of
gonna say. The
our,
comment section is only on YouTube. Most of the viewers are on Twitter.
There you go.
That's
Most of the viewers on Twitter. So yeah, that's where we do most of our marketing, most of our engagement, most of our community is Twitter, crypto Twitter. I know we need to do a better job getting more, not content. We do a lot of content, just getting more exposure out on YouTube. You kind of have to pay for that though. You kind of just have to pay for boosts on your videos and stuff, which I'm open to doing. We can talk about that more internally. But welcome to the show, Vishal. Tune in every day. We got content like this. But yeah, most of our viewership and engagement is actually on X.
Yeah, more than 220 people watching on X right now.
Great. All right, what do we got? Do we got any articles? We're about 45 minutes in. I know we all want to look at some charts, see what's going on with the stock market opening a little red, but I know we have a few articles that we can touch base on and see what Fat Sammy thinks as well since he's here.
Yeah, this is an article I queued up to pull up and just fits in perfectly with what we were just talking about. Fred Krueger, big Bitcoin proponent. He's been on a lot of the big shows. You'll see him all over crypto Twitter with a lot of the other big names out there. But saying your house is not going to 10x in the next decade. Neither will gold, neither will the S&P 500, and certainly no bond portfolios. The only candidates are Bitcoin and some carefully selected pre-IPO startups. So yeah, if you're not a full-time crypto guy, if you're not a full-time trader, if you are not a someone who's going to be in here every day and be able to analyze the markets, buy and hold, man. Buy and hold, and in the next decade, you're going to be very happy you did. So simple as that.
The only thing I would say, instead of pre-IPO startups, would be maybe pre-sales comeback or some heavily selected utility tokens in crypto. There's a lot of opportunities. Of course, not all alts perform forever, but there is opportunities, and we do see cycle after cycle that there is a handful, 5, 10, 20 alts that do live on and do continue up and to the right. BNB was one that we were on early. Solana has done very well, even though it's kind of a VC coin. Never went super heavy into the trenches on Solana. And I think Pulsechain is going to have a lot of opportunities, whether that's any of the core tokens. Obviously, Hex has a massive community, and now this is cycle 2 for Hex. But a lot of the Pulsechain assets, this is still cycle 1. People forget about that. They're like, oh my gosh, Pulsechain hasn't mooned yet. It's like, this is cycle 1. It came out during the bear market. We haven't had a bull. We haven't had an alt season. You got, PTGC just launched a year ago in the bear market. Surf just launched 3 months ago, and they're still presenting gains. They're still presenting passive income. And I think when the general markets do well, and we see this influx, 5 million just bridged in, let's see what it buys. I think there's a lot of opportunities in these crypto markets. Pre-IPO startups is a tough game. It's a very tough game.
Yeah, you can't get into those as an average person. But I think Fred missed out on the obvious other 10x in a decade, and that's Ethereum, right? By the way, Vishal just asked, are we Pulsechain max crypto? We're crypto generalists. Yes, we like Pulsechain. Yes, Surf token, which is the token behind this channel, is on Pulsechain because of the DeFi elements. You can have the automated rewards going back to the holders, the automated burns, automatic LP ads. So Pulsechain is a wonderful chain. We're bullish on Pulsechain, but we're not by no means like only Pulsechain. So we're investing in a lot of different chains, a lot of different projects. I think this guy missed out on ETH. Obviously, he's a Bitcoin maxi. Otherwise, if you're not a Bitcoin maxi, of course you put Ethereum in that category of, what's going to do 10x in a decade. We think Ethereum could do 10x this cycle, right? There's a lot of data to back it up.
I agree.
Maybe not $40,000. Maybe that was back when it was 2K. We were talking about 10x from there. But nonetheless, we're bullish on ETH, and I think anyone with a brain should be too. If you look at where the stablecoin activity is going to be located, if you look at where all the attention is from a Wall Street perspective, the regulatory environment around ETH is very, very positive. So tons of reason to be bullish on ETH. I think Fred missed out on that probably because he's not invested in ETH. So you always got to remember, what are people's motives? What's the motive behind this particular tweet or this opinion? Is it because he's holding a thing and not holding another thing, or it's a genuinely held belief? So I always have a bit of skepticism, especially when you're in crypto. Pays to have a healthy dose of skepticism. But I think, to me, Ethereum 10x in a decade is a no-brainer.
Well, here, this kind of tells the story. We're seeing all this institutional adoption. Even with all the institutional adoption we have seen so far, 75% of fund managers have zero exposure to Bitcoin. and additional perspective there, 41% of zero exposure to gold. So a lot of capital out there that is set to come into these markets, and not just through Bitcoin. We've talked ad nauseum about what the stable coins are going to do for this industry, what it's going to do for Ethereum, and the other top L1s that see the increased transaction volume due to these stable coins coming online, let alone when nation states like the U.S. start publicly buying. It's going to be an absolute frenzy and a free for all. So, again, if you're not a trader, if you're worried about timing the markets and all that kind of stuff, like we always say, DCA and HODL, that's your best bet. That's the most proven strategy for any asset class over time.
Sammy, what's your take, bud? Are you a DCA and HODL kind of guy over multiple years, or are you like trading in and out? I think I know the answer to that, but I'd love to hear your perspective.
I mean, I'm a full-time crypto person, so obviously I don't really hold through bear markets, if I'm honest. But I would advise holding through a bear market to the average person, yes. I think it's much better because you end up just losing money otherwise. You can't run a full-time job, a family or whatever else you're doing, and then still be trading successfully, I don't believe. So I would say to everyone should just, if you're one of those people that likes to collect gold, maybe you get some sent to you in the post once a month. I would do the exact same thing with Bitcoin and the exact same thing with Ethereum. I'd be accumulating those assets as my top three. And then, you could look at things like XRP. And then you could look at, I would say even XRP kind of runs a bit like an altcoin. So I'd even be careful of that sort of thing. But I think it's good to, if you do want to start being more complex and taking more risk, then you can look at things like Pulsechain. But yeah, you really need to kind of spend a lot of time with people like yourself to really kind of have that guidance, because I think a lot of people get their fingers burnt with crypto because they mess around too much.
Yeah, our fingers have been burned so many times. Let us take those bullets for you guys. Let us take the bullet wounds, and then we can help pass on that knowledge and that experience to the community. I mean, that's what it's all about. We've been screwed over many times. We've also done very well, and I think in part because we have had a long-term time horizon. We've committed to this industry. I mean, all of us have been in this space for, myself 7 years, Nick 8 years, and then Nate 7 years. We've been here for a long time, and we're not going anywhere. So you now have a long-term time horizon. You should have one, and treat it. If you're talking about the majors, Bitcoin, and Ethereum, treat it like you would any other investment. Would you be, with your S&P 500 stock, your Amazon stock, your Walmart stock, your Tesla stock? Well, Tesla's maybe different. But would you be trading in them out and like, oh, bear market's coming, black swan's coming, I gotta like move this, that, the other? No, you just hold. You buy $500 or $1,000 more every month to put in your retirement account. Do that with crypto. Treat your Bitcoin and Ethereum like that, and then I think you're going to be fine. Because trying to game it out and time it out, and yeah, some people are good at it, but most people are not. So for those who are busy, have real lives, just let your investments work for you. DCA and hold, and you're good. But meanwhile, we will keep talking about the ups and downs of the markets, because that's what we like to do.
Yeah, talking about timing it out. Here's Michael Saylor, buying tops and creating drops.
I don't know if he's created the drop. That's a little bit unfair, because that dude has created the entire bull run and hasn't sold a single Bitcoin. So he's definitely. We've talked about this before. He is terrible at timing the market. I don't know why he doesn't just He should hire analysts. Like, if he himself is not good at it, not everyone's good at reading charts and timing these things. Hire a team of analysts. They'll tell you what to do. Like, wait, bro. Like, wait a week. If the market's gonna be lower now, okay, buy now. It's not that complicated. But for him, I don't think it matters, because his time horizon is 10 years. So whether you bought it 119 or 117 or 113 doesn't make a whole heck of a lot of difference. Your price target is 1 million.
Yeah, he's been creating a lot of speculative talk with mixed messages here over the last couple days on X. This post here got circulated a lot. The last time he posted, volatility is a gift to the faithful, which is, volatility, exactly what we've been talking about here. It's a 30% drop, I believe it was, in Bitcoin. And then again, just 2 or 3 days ago, or maybe it was about a week ago now, posted the same exact messaging. Volatility is a gift to the faithful. So a lot of people coming out here saying, is he giving us a warning? Last time he posted this, we saw a 30% drop. And then just a day or two after posting that and getting all this FUD speculation going in the markets, he comes out and posts this: insufficient orange being all his buys on here. So, you know, he on one hand, he's maybe giving us a signal that there's going to be a drop. On the other hand, he's saying, I'm buying more, which would make sense. If we're going to get a big pullback, might be a great time for him to start buying.
Mike
all the way
also doesn't control the drops, though. He's not like, okay, I'm dropping it, and then because he's not selling anything. So
No,
he
it's
drops
just a
because of whatever
joke. He's
macro news or tariff FUD or the Fed.
he's the inverse
or whatever
Kramer.
reason. He just you know, he just posted that and whatever. So I'm not, dude. The speculation on whether he's caused. I think that's
Nobody thinks he actually causes the drop. It's more just the timing is pretty
I'm
ironic.
I'm not selling Bitcoin.
What does he
based on
know
his
that
tweets,
we
though.
don't know? Kind
Just
of
be
a
honest.
thing.
All right, I want to switch gears here because we're going to wrap up the show pretty soon. But Martin Max King, by the way, a new Surf admin because he's been an awesome community member, loyal token holder. He has a shit ton of Surf tokens. Great guy. Just posted the results. I'll share it again. So there was a little contest, I guess, going on I think it was Emit Farms did some sort of contest. And it looks like Crypto Paradise has won with the most votes here on that contest. So shout out to you guys. Shout out to you guys for participating in that and voting for Surf. We need more than 15, though. Come on, guys. What's going on?
Emit's been doing really good as far as price performance today. Green and amidst the sea of red, even for a yield product. And I think a lot of that is just because a lot of good farming opportunities, but also it's like, all right, I earn Emit, and you don't have to sell it. You can go stake it and then earn DAI, and then you don't feel bad spending the DAI as profits, deploying into, more Emit or more blue chips or Surf or a Top Hat or whatever else you like. That's over on Pulsechain. So they're doing a really good job, and hopefully they can keep momentum.
Emit's like what? $400,000 market cap or something like that? It's
like 120.
Oh yeah, I mean, come on. If anyone's selling Emit at these price levels, you got to get your head checked. But yeah, they're doing great. There's a lot of awesome farming opportunities on Pulsechain. And no, we're not Pulsechain maxis, but there's a lot of money to be made on Pulsechain, just even on the blue chips, holding the core tokens, as Richard Hart is about to pump our bags with this big marketing campaign. A lot of money to be made on DeFi farming opportunities. Some money to be made on memes, although that's higher risk. And the money made on tokens like Surf, which just pay you passive income for holding. So a lot to love on Pulsechain, but definitely shout out to Emit.
That reminds me, I got to go do my yield harvesting over there on Emit. I didn't do anything the last 10 days while I was off for the wedding and honeymoon, so I probably got a big old bag of DAI waiting for me.
That's going to pay for your wedding, dude. You're going to get like 10 grand worth of, probably not that much.
Well, I mean, we'll see. I take that DAI and I buy back more Emit and I stake it. So yeah, when they pump to 10 million, it'll easily pay for pay for the wedding and the holiday out here.
There you go. Shout out to Emit. Thanks for that information, Martin. All right, any final thoughts before we end this stream for today, folks?
No, thank you so much for having me on. It was great, meeting you guys properly.
Yeah,
it's always good to, we see these names in Telegram and Twitter, whatever, but then actually getting on a live show is even different than a recorded video. It's nice to just get in a live, see where the conversation flows, and put faces to names and faces to PFPs and build relationships. And hopefully you're a big Pulsechain advocate, so hopefully we keep rubbing elbows, make it work. And everybody check out some of Fat Sammy's content. He has done a lot of walkthroughs for a lot of these DeFi yield platforms, so if you want to learn how to use them, watch his videos. And then of course I want you to use them because Surf is an option as a farm on many of these platforms, paying out over 100%, 200%, 300% APR. So take some of that APR, throw it back into Surf, compound there, get some core tokens. And I think there's a big wave of green candles coming over to Pulsechain and the overall crypto markets. And the biggest narrative is going to be Ethereum strategic reserve. That's just getting warmed up, and that spurs altcoin demand, which I know we all need right now. Whether you're on Ethereum, Solana, BSC, Pulsechain, whatever the network is, it all funnels through the Ethereum strategic reserve narrative that is kicking off and happening in a very rapid way.
Bitcoin or Ethereum strategic reserve going to pump our bags. Richard Hart going to pump our bags. Just hold on here, guys. I know there's a little bit of correction today, and maybe this week is a little bit red, right? Big freaking whoop. We've lived through thousands of these little corrections. So just hang on, enjoy the content, touch some grass, Find some great opportunities. That's what it's all about. Any final? Okay, we got another person who's just so psyched to be here. 100. Thank you, Helen, for joining up on the live stream. Thank you for everyone else who joined. Thank you to Fat Sammy. And until next time, guys, we'll see you on the beach.